All right, hello and welcome back to another episode of Mr. Pisto Plays, where I build the decks. You don't have to. It's Arni Brokenbrow Mono Red Aggro Brawl deck, and I think it's a fun place to be. I think there are better Mono Red commanders. Two of them are in the deck actually, but we're in Kaldheim. We got new stuff. We want to give it a try. It was a 3/3 for 3 with haste. I wish he had trample. I don't know why they couldn't have given him trample, because the lore is he destroys the big giant thing and then comes back to boast about it because he has the boast ability. So he obviously trampled through it. But anyways, his boast is 1 generic mana. You may change Arni Brokenbrow's power to 1 plus the greatest power among other creatures you control until the end of turn. So basically you're going to want to use pump spells on your other creatures or just generically attack for 3. Alright, let's get into the deck. We have Infuriate is one of those really good pump spells. It gives +3/+2 for 1 red mana until the end of turn. So if you're attacking with this plus another creature, you can pump your other creature, then use Arni's 1 boasting ability to give it minimum +4 power until the end of turn. So that's pretty good. I like Shock. We're only playing snow-covered mountains because we have Faceless Haven in the deck. I like Shock over the Frostbite because this can go to face and we are trying to win the game as fast as possible. Stonecoil Serpent is a nice early play, late game play, mid game play, whatever you need it to be. Harald Perforos's Intervention. It's nice to be able to deal a bunch of damage to something big to get it out of the way. So that's its second ability. And its first ability, you can push some damage with this by making an X1 with trample and haste. Also plays well with Arni. If you can make it 4 or greater, then you can make Arni's power bigger by leaving 1 extra mana open. We have Careless Celebrant, a good 2-drop that makes easy to trade. And also you can sometimes get 2-for-1s with it, or you can trade up with it. It is a 2/1 that when it dies, it deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. So you can finish off a planeswalker with this and opponent controls. Embrath Shieldbreaker, we want to destroy artifacts, and this is a good way to destroy artifacts. It has battle display, 1 red mana, destroy target artifact. Otherwise, it's a 2/1 for 2 mana. Fire Prophecy deals 3 damage to target creature. You may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library to draw a card, so you're kind of filtering your hand if you are flooded, which is nice. Red doesn't get many options for this. Kargan Intimidator is a great attacker. It's a 2 mana 3/1, and cowards can't block warriors. So you can for 1 generic mana, you can give it +1/+1. You can do it, make a creature a coward, or you can give a target warrior trample until the end of turn. You can only do these things once each turn. It's too bad you can't do them a bunch of times. But anyways, Magda Brazen Outlaw. We have a little tiny small dwarf package in here. Even by herself, attacking for 1 and then creating 1 treasure token can sometimes be the difference between casting a 3-drop or a 4-drop and not. We have 5 of the 7 dwarves, as you can see down here. And we also have Torbran, Thane of Godfell. We'll talk about him in a little bit. But your other dwarves get +1/+0. And whenever a dwarf you control becomes tapped, create a treasure token. And then you can sacrifice treasure tokens, 5 of them, to search your library for an artifact or a dragon, put it on the battlefield, and shuffle your library. We have the Goldspan Dragon and the Embercleave as our 2 main cards that we are going to get with Magda. Breaking Claws is nice to give something double strike. You can end the game, you can trade, or you can beat something in combat that you would not normally beat. So yeah, it's a good card, and if you don't need it, you can pay 2 mana to cycle it. Discard it to draw a card. Robber of the Rich, 2 mana, 2/2, reach haste. When it attacks, if your opponent has more cards than you do, you exile the top card of their library. If it's a non-land card, you can cast it with any mana color. And whenever a rogue attacks, you can use the card exiled with Robber of the Rich. Scorching Dragonfire, 2 mana for 3 damage, and it exiles that creature or planeswalker that it deals the damage to. Great for cards that have to sacrifice themselves when they come into play, like Uro and Kroxa. We see them a lot, and it permanently exiles those cards because they have to sacrifice themselves because they die, and this ability is on the die activation. We have 5 of the 7 dwarves. Why 5? They wanted to fit in cards like Robber of the Rich, the Intimidator, the Celebrant, Ember Shieldbreaker, and you can only have so many 2-drops in a deck. Yes, these scale quite nicely when you get one after the other, but I want to have some diversity in what we play. They get +1/+1 for each other card named 7 dwarves, and you can play 7 of them. We have 5. Shredded Sails. I really do like this card, being able to destroy an artifact, deal 4 damage to a creature, or cycle it for 2 mana. Is a nice way to diversify your artifact destruction. Arcane Signet taps for a red. Shatter Skull Smashing and Shatter Skull Hammer Pass comes into play tapped, unless you pay 3 life, or you can pay X and 2 red to deal X damage divided as you choose, marked up to 2 target creatures or planeswalkers. If X is 6 or more, you can double it. So, excuse me. That's fun. Good removal spell. Good late game. Good early game. Very diverse. Bone Crusher Giant. Pretty much a red staple at this point. 3 mana for a 4/3 that when it becomes the target of a spell, it deals 2 damage to that target or that spell's controller, including yourself, so be careful. And then the Stomp for a red and a colorless to deal 2 damage to a creature, and damage can't be prevented. A new card from Kaldheim with Demon Bolt. We are wanting to get rid of things. This one deals 4 damage, and you can foretell it for 1. So I thought that was worth a try in the deck. Kazul's Fury and Kazul's Cliffs. You can play it as Kazul's Cliffs as a tap land, or you can pay 3 mana at instant speed and sacrifice a creature, and it deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to any target. So you can fling something at instant speed and potentially in the game. Relic Robber is another one of those cards that I wanted to put in here, maybe instead of one of those 7 dwarves. 3 mana 2/2, so it costs 1 extra mana, but it has haste. It is a rogue, so it plays well with Robber of the Rich. And if it deals damage, you get one of these Goblin Construct things that deal 1 damage at the beginning of this creature's controller's upkeep. So if you can get through with this once or twice, then that's a nice clock added onto your regular gameplay. Soul Seer, I think it's a red staple at this point, is a 3 mana deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker, and it loses indestructible until end of turn. So it's good ways to deal with those pesky Theros gods if you can deal 5 plus a little bit for some of them. Annex Hardened in the Forge. This is probably my favorite Mono Red commander in the format right now. He's a 3 mana star 3, where X is his power is equal to your devotion to red. Whenever a creature dies, create a 1/1 red Satyr creature token with this creature can't block. And if that creature's power is 4 or greater, you make 2 of them. Great attacker. Great with Embercleave. Just all around really cool card. And it's probably one of my favorites. Phoenix of Ash is a great attacker. Flying Haste, 2/2 for 3 mana. You can pay a red and 2 colorless, and Phoenix of Ash gets +2/+0. And then you could use Arni's ability to boast him so that he gets 1 more. He wants to be bigger and better than the rest. So he would become a 5/3 when you do that. And you can escape it by exiling 3 other cards from your graveyard and paying 4 mana. And then it comes into play with a 1/1 counter on it. So great for using up those cards in your graveyard, because we don't really have other graveyard type effects in the deck. We have a Crow and War to get rid of or get a blocker out of the way. So we gain control of target creature. Then we force our opponents or creatures to attack us, which again gets them out of the way. And then each tapped creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. So it can help get things out of the way, help get rid of things. Ogre Battle Driver gives our creatures haste when they enter and +2/+0. And it is a 4 mana 3/3, so it's in there to give our other creatures in the deck who don't inherently have haste, give them haste. Tectonic Giant is one of those cards that would be really nice to give haste. A 4 mana 3/4. Whenever attacks or becomes the target of a spell an opponent controls, you either deal 3 damage to each opponent, or you can exile the top 2 cards of your library, choose one, and then until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. So it's reach if you need reach, it's card draw, pseudo card draw if you need card draw. Harald, God of Fury, and Harald's Hammer. This plays really nice with Perforos's Intervention and with Shatter Skull Smashing. And it is a 4-mana 5/4 trample. That is a pretty solid creature in and of itself. Whenever a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls is dealt excess non-combat damage, Harald deals damage equal to the excess to any target other than that permanent. So with Perforos's Intervention, you can shotgun down, machine gun down someone's board with all the excess damage. Then his hammer, not so useful. Maybe on Arni it could be something. It's a 2-mana and equips for 2 mana. You can pay a red and a colorless to untap and unattach Harald's Hammer. It deals 3 damage to any target, and then you can return the hammer returns to your hand, and if the equipped creature is legendary, it gets +3/+0 till the end of turn. Then we have the aforementioned Torbrand, Thane of Redfell, 3 red mana and a colorless for a 2/4 that makes all your red source damage deal +2 to a permanent or an opponent controls or an opponent. So it makes your Soul Seer deal 7. Quite nice, and it helps Torbrand get extra damage. I think it's another one of the really good red commanders in the format. Then we have some cards that probably will help us end the game. We have Brash Taunter, the 5-mana 1/1. It has indestructible. Whenever it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to a target opponent. If you remember, and if you've watched my Torbrand video, or not my Torbrand video, if you watched my Toralf video, it doesn't combo with Toralf. But it's pretty cool. Mono Green hates this card. It's so hard to get through. And you can pay a red and 2 colorless to have it fight another target creature, and then you throw the excess damage at their face. Chandra, Heart of Fire. It's a 5-mana 5 loyalty planeswalker. Has 2/+1s. First one is discard your hand. I've done this so many times by accident when I have good hands. Then exile the top 3 cards of your library, and then you can play those cards exiled this way. So if you get really low and you just have lands, or you need to dig for something, you could do that. Its other +1 deals 2 damage to any target, so you can pick off a little thing or close out the game with the excess little bit of damage. And it's -9. Search your library for any number of red instant and or sorcery cards, also your graveyard. And you may cast those cards that are exiled, and you can add 6 red mana to your mana pool. Goldspan Dragon, great card here. Flying Haste, 4/4 dragon, and when it attacks or becomes a target of a spell, even your own, create a treasure token, and your treasure tokens have tap, sacrifice this artifact to add 2 mana of any one color. Another good game ender, or this is a great card in general, is Quakebringer Giant. We do have one other giant to help this if it gets to our graveyard. That's Bonecrusher Giant. 5-mana 5/4, but you can pay 2 to foretell, and it's a 5/4 for 4 mana. Your opponents can't gain life, which is a nice clause there. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, it deals 2 damage to each opponent, and it triggers only if Quakebringer is on the battlefield or if Quakebringer is in your graveyard and you control a giant. The Bonecrusher Giant helps us out here with that one. And the last card in the deck is Mono Red's favorite, Ember Cleave. 6-mana flash, costs 1 less for each attacking creature. It equips when it comes into play. Gives +1/+1, double strike, and trample, and its normal equip cost is 3. We have Castle Embereth, Dwarven Mine. I usually don't play this card, but we are playing 18 Snow-Covered Mountains. Crawling Barrens as a nice creature land for the control matchups, along with Faceless Haven, which is another nice creature land for the control matchups. All right, that is Arni Brokenbrow, Mono Red Aggro. Let's get into some games. Palatero Man, Harald, King of Skemfar. We got a dwarf, we got a removal spell, we got a pump spell, we got another 2-mana spell. I think we keep this. We got 2 lands. This looks pretty good. It would be nice to draw 2 more mana so we can accrue in Crow and War. A very interesting card to be playing as your commander. There are, in my opinion, much better. We're gonna play the Dwarf Golgari commanders, but like I said, this is a fun format, and this is not the best commander. A good one, an interesting one. He does have menace, so we'll give him that much. But it does just die to removal A, and there's another Dwarf. I think we just blow him out. Not the best use of a spell, but we can Bone Crusher this thing to get him to or force some damage next turn. One will be rather annoying. All right. Hey, it is a land. We will get in there. I am definitely. Ooh, they have another one. All right. Land. I think we do. Do we take the 1/1? And then bash with the rest? We can make this a 4/3. Next. Attack with all. 3 attackers. And blow that up. Trade with the Dwarf. Ends the turn. Right. All right. So we can a Crow in War. Take this. And that's the game. All right. Let's get into game number 2. All right, telepathic. What do you got? The Crow in War. We got removal. We can probably, yeah, I think this is okay. We're playing against Vorinclex. That could be a nuisance. We got a decent 2-drop in Magda. And we just hope to draw some things. That is annoying. That's a very annoying. Now the question is, do we need to get rid of Death Touch? We kind of need to get rid of Death Touch. Yeah. We need to get rid of Death Touch. That also slows them down as far as mana ramping goes with Jaspera Sentinel. Right, let's do this so that it will have haste if we need it to have haste. Play something big, then I can take it. Three turns into a 3/3. Guess they're afraid of its ability? Battle. Not going to attack with it now. Play this. Into this. This is the not so powerful reason why just Bar Sentinel I just don't think fits in the decks. Because this is a mana dork, so you don't want to tap it to tap that to make mana. Vorinclex against Brush Taunter is good for us. Goose. Now you can use this to make a mana. Okay. All right. We're gonna attack with these two. And I think I'm gonna blow up the food token. That. And we're gonna play this. That slows their mana down. Big time. Alright. We have a 4/4. Oh, if we can meteorite. Okay. You don't see that every day. I think we are Crow in war here. Take this. You can tap it. Back with everything. We are going to throw 3 at their face. And we'll play a shield breaker. And I think this game is just about over. Vorinclex isn't going to save you now. You need to get rid of this. Vorinclex actually makes me perma keep this. This won't move. Alright. That's a cool card. You don't see it very often. And I believe this is the game. I'll attack. Giant deals 3 damage to the opponent's face, and the game is over, and we get to play yet another game. Aggro, aggro, aggro. Also, when you play these kind of commanders, don't typically play against the other top tier commanders, so which is kind of refreshing. So if you're sick of seeing Koma and Ashiok, play something that's not tier 1. And I haven't seen a bridge deck in a long time because I'm not playing those decks. All right, let's get into another game. Kaksduk. And just as I said, you don't usually play super good ones. Well, here we have Valki. I think this is definitely a keep. We got removal. We got a 4-drop if we need it. And we got our Embercleave to finish the game. Yeah, I think it's definitely, and we're on the play with Hasty Boys. Definitely helpful. Although this is probably removal.deck. It always is. It never isn't. See, they got shock or frostbite. Bye bye Embercleave, and I think we just lost this game. Never give up though. Right, and then we foretell the Quickbringer. They know what it is, but I think we close our hand off. I don't think they've seen anything other than that from us. Yeah, Valki, take my Bone Crusher Giant. See what I mean? Removal.deck. Alright, let's get him. We can always cycle this if they don't give us something targetable with it. And Berkey. Well, let's get at them. They only have one card in hand. Two. Yeah, look what I mean. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 removal spells. There's another mana. And I think we have just about end of this one. Crypt. Huh. Liliana. Fun.
Address me as Queen of the Dead, please.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They were gonna get something anyways. We have to play cards from our hand. Otherwise, they just get them with Liliana. Give us that instant speed. So they can deal 8 to us.
You can scream if it hurts too much.
Creative instant, like, why didn't you just attack with everything? This. Not gonna attack because it just gains some life. They are just prolonging this game. It should be over. Right, what we gonna draw? Nothing that can get us out of this. And yeah. Good game. Alright, let's get into another one. Boom. Alright, duelist. This is definitely a keep. With Jorn. I just put out a Jorn video. Like, subscribe, notify for new content. He's a fun one. Very much a fun one. I think we go... Dwarves? We kind of want to play things that don't have haste, then things that have haste. Although I don't know if I'm going to be running this out. I don't want to get in. Let's draw ourselves a card. Hey, Cheville. Cool. That's a nice one. Here comes Jorn. Hey, it's a dwarf. Alright, what kind of shenanigans are you gonna do? Oh, that's cool. Actually, those are cards I never... Yeah. That's very clever. Very, very clever. Those didn't even come to my mind when I was building. And they have a turn... Turn 4? Kogla? Let's start batching in the air, I guess. A few lands would be nice. I never thought of these lands. Oh, now I don't think we can win now. Brash Tantra could dig us out of this. No blocks. We're just not drawing the lands we need to draw. We have 2 3/3s. Can double block Kogla if we need to. No, we can't double block Kogla. Well, I think this game is over. That is a nice thing about playing Mono Red. The games go super fast. And 13, 14. We need something to block. Yes, sure. At least this kills Jorn. That gets really big. Ooh. Power of snow. And then there's Coma. Woohoo! Let's just put the Robins even more. Hey, there's our land. This would have been nice like 3 turns ago. You're gonna keep casting things or just kill me? Yay, they did the nice thing and just attacked. Luck. G. Games are fast, games are furious. All right, let's get into some post game with this lovely deck. All right, fast and furious games with Arni Brokenbrow. You can tell the deck easily gets ran over, but you could easily run over other people too. Maybe you play all 7 of the 7 dwarves along with the Magda. Magda's another one of those really strong Mono Red commanders in the format, along with Torbran and with Annex. Arni is definitely tier 2, if not tier 3, but it can be fun. It can do things. Yeah, not much else to say. I built Magda, so if you want to watch that video, it'll be in the description below. I built NX a long time ago, so if you want to go, you can go find that. I can put that in the description below too. It is a Zendikar Rising deck with no of the new cards in it, but it was still fun. And at that time it had the new cards in it. But anyways, I don't know much else to say about Arni the Brokenbrow. Maybe you play more pump spells. But yeah, that's the deck. It's kind of fun. It's kind of not the toppest tierest of all the decks in the world, but that's okay. We don't always have to play the most powerful things. We just have to play to have fun. All right. I'm Mr. Pisto. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. Bye for now.